Hello everyone and welcome to Call Sign Charlie Models. Time for another inbox review, and today we have another HK Models beast of a kit in 1/32 scale, and that is the B-25H Mitchell Gunships over CBI. And we did an earlier review of another HK Models B-25, and that one absolutely looked gorgeous as well. So I know this one's going to come out nice also. This one does have a different nose gun configuration than what the other one did, but we're still going to go through everything like it is our first time seeing this kit. So the total number of parts for this guy is 563 parts with a wingspan of 643 millimeters and a length of 498 millimeters. So it's going to be not a very large kit, but not it's just in between of that medium to large size scale kits, kind of like a little bit smaller than the 1/32 B-17. But again, moving on to the top box art, we have some very nice box art. If you cut off right along the top here, you'll have a nice piece of wall art to put onto your wall. And then moving on to the sides of the box, we have some nice CAD images on here, and then we go to the other side and we have a couple nice images of the two schemes that we get in this kit. So we have the B-25H serial number 43 Tech 4244, the 81st Bomber Squadron, 12th Bomber Group, India, spring of 1945. And then we have another one, serial number 43 Tech 4975, 81st Bomber Squadron, 12th Bomber Group, India, spring in 1945 as well. So we have the aluminum and we have an olive drab version for this. So let's get this box opened up and let's see how packed of plastic it actually is. So we open up the lid and it is absolutely packed. So I'm going to get everything set aside and we will start going through the instructions and decals and then the plastic. So give me 1 second. Okay, first we'll start off with this nice artwork that they have. Like I was saying, cut off the box top and you have some nice artwork. With this, you don't have to worry about this. This is a nice poster grade paper right here. And again, just put a nice frame around it, and I mean, you can definitely hang this on your wall. Alright, so starting off with the instructions, right in here we have a nice big, I mean this is a massive booklet right here, and it has a nice little history of the B-25H here. Then we have the legend of symbols that we will be using through the instructions. So we open it up and we're starting off with the forward flight deck, it looks like, getting all the detail parts on there, and then we have a couple more with our throttle quadrant, and then we have our seats going on here, and then we have our bomb. So we're going from the front cockpit to our bomb bay. After that's done, we're working some more on the bomb bay, getting our bombs attached to the sidewalls of the bomb bay, and then we're getting the front and side and top walls all attached to the bomb bay right there. After that's done, we have some work to do in the fuselage, getting the gun body to our gun attached with our ammo chute or ammo can, ammo belt, I'm sorry, I had a brain fart of the word, and a bunch of other little small parts to go on in here as well on both sides of the fuselage. Then moving on, we're getting our front cockpit section, our bomb bay, our aft gunner section, and our mid gunner section on there as well, and our instrument panel getting added as well. Then after all that's done, we have a few more detail parts to add on, and then we are getting our two fuselage halves together. We do have some weights to go on the front end of this kit just to make sure it's not a tail dragger. I will probably be adding a little bit more weight to this just to be on the safe side. We also have our gun windows going in here as well. After that's all done, we're working on the tail plane, getting the horizontal stabilizers and the elevators and vertical stabilizers and rudders all attached. And then we have that going on with our tail gunner's glass, and then we have the turret going on and our nose glass, and we have the gun blisters going on to the side of the fuselage. After that, working on the belly of the aircraft, we have our bomb bay doors, which are nice two-part right there, so you have the difference in the weight saving metal, and then our exterior metal right there. And then we have a couple armor plates, and then the other gun blisters going on there, and a few other pieces like our boarding ladder along there. So then after that, we do have the option of having it in flight as well, and it shows you how to do everything there. And then after that, we're starting on our engines, getting all of our engine parts added in. The engine should be okay. Might want to see about maybe some aftermarket ones, we'll have to see. But going in, having a lot of little hosing and wiring parts to go onto the engine. So actually they might build up to be fairly nice. Again, adding more engine parts to this, and your push rods and all that going on, and then you're adding your engines to your engine cowl. You do have the option of having the engine cowl hatches off, so you can show off the engine work that you did. After that, we're taking and adding more engine parts and exhaust right in here, and then we're taking our wings, getting our wings together and our propellers ready to go as well. After that, we're adding our flaps and our ailerons and some glass work to go on, and a couple other bits to go onto the wings as well. Probably repeating for the other side, but we're also got the engine nozzles and landing gear nozzles to go in there as well, attached to the wings. Then we're just repeating for the other wing as well, going all the way through there. After all that's done, we are starting on our nose section that going on. So we're adding all of our 50 cal machine guns right there, adding it to the bottom plate of the nose, and then we have our ammo cans and our ammo feed chutes right there. Have a couple different ways of putting it together. Then we have the front going on there, and then you can have it in the open or closed position as well. After that's all done, we're adding a cannon going on through this hole, and then we have an antenna going down on the bottom of the nose. Alright, then after that's all done, we're getting our wings attached to a fuselage and the nose section attached to the fuselage as well. So with the HK models and the way that they do their wings, they are a very nice strong fit. You just have to make sure that you push them in all the way, and they will basically click to fit on that. And you have on the ground and also in-flight option for final assembly on that. And at the end of the instructions, we have our sprue callouts, and all the parts are nice and big and numbered, so you can easily find them if you cannot find them on the sprue. And then moving right along, we have a couple photo etch pieces to go on there with our sprues as well. After that's all done, we have our decal layouts right here, very nice and large going on. And then we have our color callout. So again, this is the aluminum version, pretty nice on this. Some nice nose art on the front right here. And then we flip it over to the other side, and we have our other nose art option with the olive drab over gray. Again, I'm liking this one as well, with some very nice nose art on the front. Alright, so that does it for the instructions. Alright, so starting off with our photo etch, we have what looks to be our seat pans right here, and a little bit of our seat belt work. Some decently thick but not too thick photo etch on that. And then we have another one with, I think these are for the wings right here. I'm not sure what this one is for, but we do have some nice fold lines right in there, so you'll have no question about where to fold, and these areas will fold up a lot easier than trying to bend it at a different area. But we also have seat belts along in here. I do think Quinto Studios does have a interior set for this, which their seat belts are, in my opinion, a lot better than photo etch seat belts. Then moving on to the decals. Alright, so the decals, the nose art for the decals, one of them, this one right here, Kid Sister, doesn't look too good in my opinion. And then this one does look a lot better, but I mean they still do look a little bit too cartoonish, if you know what I mean. But again, other than that, the decals do look very nice. There's not too many decals to this, and I think there is an aftermarket decal set for all the stencils that go on the B-25. Alright, so moving on to our first sprue. Alright, so we have some very, very nice rivet detail going all the way. This is your tail plane right here, so this will be your horizontal stabilizers and your elevators right in here. So some very nice rivet detail. I'm hoping the yep, there we go. Camera picks it up very nicely, as you can see right there. And then on the elevators right here, you do have a little bit of a fabric type texture to go on there as well. So again, and then on your vertical stabilizers, you have some very nice rivet detail on that as well. Now we flip it over to the other side. I'm not worried about the ejector pins or anything like that on this sprue, but what we do have is some very nice strength supports going on through the middle of these horizontal stabilizers. So this is definitely going to help and prevent the sag of these in the years to come. So that's a nice engineering detail on this kit. Alright, so moving on to our next sprue, we have some interior detail and some very nice raised rivets on these. I think this might be the Bombay. Yeah, this looks like it is the Bombay, and again some very nice rivet detail and panel line detail, framing detail as well, all through there. And then on the sidewalls of your Bombay, again very nice detail. You're not going to be able to see much of it because there's going to be bombs in the way, but again very nice detail. And if you want to go crazy on it, you can add the wiring and all that stuff to it. Now for your instrument panel, a decent bit of detail on there. You're going to have the decal that goes behind there, and I think that goes on a glass piece. I'm not 100% sure right now, but again that's going to look nice. I still think I'm going to go with the Quinta Studios interior for that. Now for the Bombay doors, we have these nice pre-drilled out holes on these that are going to go on these Bombay doors right here to show just a different material, I guess would be what you would say, for the Bombay doors. And we flip it over to the other side. You do have ejector pin marks on these right here, but these pieces right here are going to cover those up, so those should not be an issue. Now everything else you're not going to really be able to see except for maybe this part, and there is an ejector pin mark on here, but that's going to be fairly shallow and it might be hidden as well. So again, some very nice detail all the way around. We have our boarding doors with our ladders. Again, very nice detail on that. No ejector pin marks or anything to worry about on those two pieces. Alright, so up next we have our wings, and we have two of these sprues right here just for left and right. Again, we have some absolutely gorgeous rivet detail going all the way down these wings. And we have some nice raised support right here, some strengthening right in there. And then we have our gas caps. So we have a mixture of raised rivets and recessed rivets all through there, and absolutely looks gorgeous going around. Then on our ailerons, we have that same fabric texture that we had on our elevators as well. And then on our flaps, we have some very nice rivet detail and panel line detail on there as well. And the same thing for the underside of the wing as well. Alright, so moving on, we have our next sprue, which is of our engine nozzles and our landing gear bay, and some more flap detail and some more engine detail to go on there as well. The rivet detail and panel line detail is the same on these engine nozzles as it was on the wings. Absolutely amazing on that. And then the same thing with the flaps over here. So just moving right around, we go to the other side. You're really not going to be able to see any of the inside of here because the landing gear area is so small, so you won't really be able to see up in there, so that's no issue with that. The only thing that we might have an issue with is these two doors right here. There are a couple of small ejector pin marks on the corners right here, but those should be fairly easy to sand out. Alright, up next we have another large sprue, and this is of our fuselage, and this thing looks like an absolute beast. It just, all the rivet detail all the way through here absolutely looks beautiful all the way through, and it's going to take a wash absolutely perfectly, and it's going to look amazing when it's all said and done. You get some paint, and if you do the olive drab version, you get some chipping in there and get it a little bit faded and all that stuff. It's going to look really good when it's all done. So just very nice detail, and it goes around the corner or around the bends nice and evenly. There's no fade going around on the bend, so nice molding work from AK models right there, or HK models. Alright, and then moving along to the inside of the fuselage. Alright, so the tail section I'm really not too worried about. There isn't any detail on here, but I'm not sure on how much of the inside back here you're going to be able to see. And as for the front cockpit, we do have a little bit of detail, but we're going to have some parts going on. And then we do have a couple of ejector pin marks on here. Two maybe that will not be covered. One is going to be covered because it has locator pins right there. And the same thing for the other side as well. So that is the fuselage. Again, very nice detail on the exterior of the fuselage, and that is going to absolutely look beautiful when it is all said and done. Okay, so we have a double sprue right here, and this is of our wheels and our seats right here, and they do look very, very nice. The tread is very nice on there, and we also have our bomb racks. Again, some very nice fine detail going through there as well, and then we have some racks for our guns as well. So some very nice detail on here. We have some very small parts for all of our levers, control levers and such, that are going to go into our cockpit. Again, this is a double sprue, so we get two of these. Alright, so this is the sprue specific to this this model right here, and we have our converted gun nose right here, some nice holes in it, and this is going to be our cannon mount right here going through. And then we have our guns. Very nice detail on the guns. You will be able to see these if you leave the gun open or the hatch open for the nose gun bay, so definitely want to take care of that. And then our ammo feed chutes, again, pretty nice with the detail, especially for injection molding. Some nice detail. Now for the instrument panel, again, I'm thinking that I'm going to be using the Quinta Studio stuff because that just looks 100 times better than what a decal looks, in my opinion. So definitely going to be using that for the instrument panel at least. But everything else on here does look fairly nice. Now we flip it over to the other side. We do have a couple ejector pin marks. This is the portion of the nose hatch that you will be able to see when it is opened up, and we do have a couple ejector pin marks right up in there. I'm hoping that you can see it, but those will definitely need to be taken care of if you're leaving the hatch open. But everything else on here does look fairly nice. You're not going to be able to see any of this portion right here, so I'm not worried about those ejector pin marks. And then this portion is going to have a flat deck on top of it, so it's covering up all those ejector pin marks as well. Okay, up next we have a quadruple sprue right here. So we get 4 of these, and these are of our push rods right here, and then some of the hosing going on through there, and our cylinder heads right in there as well. So some very nice detail on that. Not much to go off of on this piece, but it does look very nice and should help liven up that engine as well. Okay, so up next we have our armament sprue right here. We have 3 of these sprues in the kit. We do have our looks like maybe 500 pounders for our bombs right here with our tail fins going on. Our guns, the tips are hollowed out, so that's a nice bonus to this kit. And then we have our arming fins right in here, our fuses going on right there. So again, some nice detail on these. They're going to be tucked up in the bomb bay, so you're not going to be able to see much of them anyways, but again, with the fins, they do look rather nice. Alright, so up next we have our engine cowl hatches right here. Again, the exterior detail does look very nice. So we get 2 of these sprues as well. And we flip it over to the other side. Alright, so we do have a few ejector pin marks, or a couple ejector pin marks on each one of these hatches. Most of them are relatively shallow, so should be fairly easy to take care of on that. We do have this one right here that is actually pretty deep, so that one might be a little bit difficult to take care of, but the rest of them are fairly shallow and shouldn't take much sanding or putty to get those wiped out. So they're so small that you can't even, there we go, I'm having a difficult time getting the camera to pick them up. But yeah, so that's how those are looking. But again, on the exterior side of it, there's some very nice rivet detail going around the edges along here. So again, very nice on the outside. Alright, so up next we have 3 different sprues in this bag. Alright, and then first, starting off, we have our gun blisters for the side. Again, nice detail going on that. Even with the ejector chutes for our bullets. 2 of them are hollowed out and 2 of them are not hollowed out. So we'll have to take a look. Definitely going to have to drill out and cut out those 2 to match the other 2. Then we have a few other antennas and lumps and bumps that go on this guy as well. After that, we have our nose wheel right here. Again, very nice on the tread detail. Then we have a few other small parts like the antenna going on. And then we have our main landing gear going on and our nose landing gear right there. I am thinking that you might want to get some metal landing gear to help support the weight of this extremely heavy kit when it is all done. So definitely going to look into getting some metal landing gear just to make sure that it doesn't collapse or sag over time. And then finally, on this in this bag, we have the canvas that's going over our tail gun. Again, very nice molding detail on that piece right there. It's going to weather up really nice. And then we have our other guns going on here, and then we have our extended ammo feed belts going on through there as well. So again, a lot of nice detail in this kit so far. Ejector pins on here, not worried about. You're not going to be able to see those at all. You might not even be able to see these ammo feed belts at all either, so not really too worried about that. Alright, so up next we have our engine cowling. This is going to be where those parts that we went over a little bit ago will go on. The engine cowl flaps, those look decent as well. There's not much to go on with this kit, or this part right here. Then after that, we have our armor plates that go onto the side of the fuselage. Again, not much detail on that. We do have a couple of recessed areas that other parts are going to go onto. I think it's what these are for right here. But again, not much detail required for those pieces right there. Okay, up next we have our engine sprues, and we get 2 of these. The cylinder heads, they do look pretty nice. They are molded in one piece, so you're going to have both of these stacked together, and that's really going to help. And we have all the hosing going on through there. With the addition of the other parts that we had in a couple of sprues back, It's really going to help liven up this engine right here. So like I said earlier, that might need a aftermarket engine set, but I'm thinking with all the hosing and cabling, and even maybe after that adding in some lead wire for the spark plug wires and such, I don't think I'm going to need aftermarket engines for this, because it does look very nice and I can't see much of an improvement from a resin set. Alright, so up next we have two sprues of our clear parts. Again, our gun windows right here are nice and clear. All the clear parts are nice and clear, and we even have a little protective tape over these two parts right here to help prevent them from getting scratched. So, but from what I can see, those do look absolutely crystal clear. And then we have our wing light windows right there, and along with our lights going on. So some very nice clear parts on that. And then moving on to our final sprue, which is our main canopy section right here, and it has its own bag to help protect it. We do have a little scuff mark right here on the top corner of it, but everything else in this kit this part looks absolutely crystal clear, and no issues with looking at anything close by underneath the window. So definitely going to be very nice, and you're definitely going to be able to see a good amount inside the cockpit with all of this glass work right here. Alright, and that's everything for the HK Models 132nd B-25H Mitchell Gunships over CBI. And I can say that this kit looks absolutely amazing, and it's gonna build up to be absolutely amazing, and a honking piece of plastic on your display shelf as well. This thing is going to be rather large, so I'm definitely looking forward to building this one. I'm not sure on which scheme I'm going to use yet, either the aluminum or the olive drab, or I might see about aftermarket decals out there. So again, this one I'm really liking. I'm really looking forward to building it in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this inbox review. I hope it helped you answer any questions if you're on the fence about getting this kit or not. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, especially if you've built this kit before. Let us know if you had any fit issues or hiccups with the kit. And then hit the bell button for notifications of when I post future content, like inbox reviews or build videos. Like right now I have 2 going on with the 132nd PPY Catalina from HPH Models, and I also have the 132nd Artillery Panavia Tornado going on right now. So definitely look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. But until next time, have a great day, stay frosty, and happy modeling.